Welcome back to the PCS. We have a David versus Goliath match here as 7th place MFT goes on to take 3rd place in J Team right here on the Rift. We have seen a lot of interesting stuff from both teams, but especially from the mid jungle. Seems to be where the action is going to be heading, especially with Uniboy here. Before we go even deeper into the matchup, a big thank you to our organizers, Riot Games, Carry Live Co., Garena, and to our sponsors, CTPC Bank and Caliber. Now, this one is a very important one for MFT. They don't want to start in the lower side of the bracket, currently at 7th place. That is where they will end up if the standings do not shake up. How do they overcome J-Team, a much more veteran team, a team with much better known names?
It comes with a lot of conditions, right? First off, you need to have Wen be able to hold up in that mid lane. But then when it comes to attacking a particular lane, I think for the side of MFT, it comes down to attacking these side lanes. Like Whale, when given the opportunity and when the mid lane has held up, he gets his resources, he can carry on champions like the Jinx. And over in that top side, we know we can get some spicy picks up there, and maybe that will shift the edge over to Taco in that top lane against a player like Driver, who he's been solid, but his laning hasn't exactly been up to snuff.
Yeah, we did have a bit of that yesterday where Driver did end up with a 0-4 game day on the Jace. So maybe Taco with his unique champion pool, remember the Darius, maybe he's going to try his hand at the Malphite sometimes, still winless in the PCS, can be the answer here. In the meantime, we're going to be taking a look at the rest of the squad. 665 in, when not exactly your usual duo, but so far Wen has had that trump card of the Galio, still 100% win rate on that one. And for the bottom lane, we do have Ren Hao starting today.
We do have Ren Hao down in that bottom lane. Support seems to be somewhat a revolving door across our league, but we will see the stat comparison between our two junglers, and unfortunate, the two key stats that stand out. First blood victim, 23% for 665, and solo deaths at 4. Something you don't see a whole lot when you are a jungler.
I do want to mention the conditions that we have seen this quite often. It usually happens when 665 is actually trying to cover for mid lane. So we see Wen, not really a very strong laner. A lot of times he gets forced out. 665 jumps in and then gets blown up by the opposition mid laner. I feel like that's a scene that we've seen multiple times, especially on the Hecarim that has no ranged abilities. He just walks into lane and is like, I'm going to try and clear with Decimate. And the Orianna is like, okay, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so this will be a key focus for us in the game, of course, given that Uniboy, when given his set of champions, is very, very proficient at getting mid priority and just dominating that and snowballing himself and Kongria into a lot of these mid game team fights.
Exactly. We head into the draft phase. MFT going to take away the Diana. They have been one of the teams to actually leave Zeri open a couple of times. We'll find out if this is still the case. I hope not, please. On the other end, J-Team going to take away Taco's best champion in the Akali. We saw this in their debut. And also the Galio from Wen, as we mentioned, probably his best champion because how safe it is in lane, and also because how easy it is to follow up on 665. Zeri still left open here on the side of MFT, while J-Team will take away the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, for them to leave Zeri all the way up here, they could be daring Lil V to go ahead and play it. Their approaches to the Zeri pick have not been exactly inspiring, but MFT are still okay. There we go. I think for J-Team, it comes down to, of course, Gwen and Rise priority. Which one do you want of those two picks? Of course, Gwen, a lot more options for J-Team, but instead it's actually going to be Tryndamere. So I think for MFT, you just go Gwen Rise, and you are very, very happy with how the start of the draft goes. Unless if you are not very comfortable with the Gwen Tryndamere matchup, then you could go something like the Hecarim Rise that we've seen DCG value very, very frequently.
I feel like you have to take the Gwen, as you've mentioned. We've seen a couple teams just flash the Tryndamere, and then if you don't take the Gwen, they'll take the Gwen themselves. They're very happy to take both of them on the same rotation. So I would be very surprised if they don't do it. The AD carries are still open. The Aphelios is kind of like your last go-to, but with Xayah up here, I feel like the Gwen has to be taken here. As you have mentioned.
I think they're considering Rise heavily.
Okay, we're both wrong. They take Tahm Kench. What? Why? What do you make of this?
I guess they're immediately saying this is the only way we can save our AD carry if Tryndamere gets onto the backline, but it's not a real safety valve because of how fast Tryndamere can just kill Tahm Kench and then kill your AD carry right after. So J team already in this first phase, I feel like come out ahead. Yes, the Viego can also get denied by the Tahm Kench, but you're not like, you're just getting power at this point for J team, and MFT, they've left a lot to be desired unless Clement, this is a top lane Tahm Kench.
I wouldn't put it beyond Taco. He does play a lot of different champions. That would be his 12th champion overall if he does lock it in. I just don't see top lane Tahm Kench working out all that well.
I don't think so either. But that's the only explanation why you would lock it in so early. But then they locked in Malphite, which
oh boy,
isn't a bad Malphite angle. But what have you given up? What have we given up for this Malphite pick?
This has been the worst trade in the history of trades. I'm sorry, but these trades are so atrocious. You give Uniboy his best champion in the Zoe. Driver gets this Tryndamere against essentially a free lane. Like, you can't kill a Tryndamere in lane with this Malphite. He can just farm away, and he will get to that point where he just dominates in terms of the side lanes. And you're betting on some sort of a team fight from a losing position. We'll see how this ends up. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna judge them too harshly right off the bat. But this seems like a very dire draft to kind of recover from at the moment. MFT are going to ban away some poke and safety options here. They want that Malphite to be very useful. So they're going to take away the Xayah and the Ezreal. For J-Team's end, they're going to ban away even more roaming champions on the side of Wen with the Zex.
Taking away the Vex, I would expect the Rise to get taken away as well, because of course you do have decent kill potential with Rise route with the Lee Sin onto the Uniboy, so makes a lot of sense to remove that here. What do you go for AD carry? If you go for Aphelios, it feels really bad to play Aphelios in this game, even with Tahm Kench. The Tahm Kench, again, doesn't offer you a whole lot, so...
Okay, that's interesting.
Alright, they go for LeBlanc. Of course, a lot of kill threat in this 2v2, right? But then it leaves the question of what possibility of a spicy pick do we have for a last pick? I almost want to say it has to be a Twitch. That's the only 1v5 champion I can see that has possibility. But then we get a free Renata lock-in, because again, you're playing Tahm Kench, and with a Malphite, you're pretty committed to an engage. So this Renata angle makes a lot of sense here. We'll see how well it does with the Kai'Sa. Of course, Renata has a good lane phase into Tahm Kench, and Kai'Sa, not known for, again, her laning. A lot of her weak spots do get remedied by this Renata pick, and Jin Tahm Kench, color me thrilled.
I will say that this is probably the best lane they could have gotten out of the remaining options. There is still a very strong win condition. LeBlanc Lee Sin, in terms of just the raw power of the picks and the ceiling of these two mechanical champions, I would say they're probably the best duo in all of League of Legends.
True.
But that seems like the only out so far. J Team, their composition is just power to power from all of these picks.
Yeah, and the issue here for the Malphite is while he does fine in lane against Tryndamere, Tryndamere also does fine against him. And then when you think of Malphite, you think of a big wombo potential.
I don't have enough engage for the wombo.
There's no wombo. There's no
Yeah.
wombo, Clement. I'm missing the wombo.
So how about he goes AP, and then you don't need wombo?
He's solo wombo.
Exactly. He's solo bolo wombo.
Oh,
There you go.
There we go. Maybe that's the key. But then you're double AP. So then they just build magic resistance and you feel bad.
Hey, Lee Sin can snowball. Yeah, don't say that. So I just feel like the win conditions are very narrow on the side of MFT, while you have a bunch of carries stacked up on the side of J Team. Tryndamere split push, Uniboy on Zoe, you know that's a no-no, and then Viego in the jungle. It's very unorthodox, and to be fair, we haven't seen J Team play this composition whatsoever.
Yes.
But it just seems like power overwhelming from J Team.
Yeah, they've got power all across the board. Even this Renata pick makes a lot of sense because you see Malphite. That means if you're playing Malphite that early, you're fully committed to an engage. That means it sets up for relatively easy Renata ultimates. So at the very least, while they're not going to be necessarily killing each other, they will be stalled out for a very long time due to the Berserk feature.
It still, again, mainly comes down to mid-jungle, so we'll be paying very close attention to the pathing here. Honestly, if this was Karsa and Maple in the Flash Wolves days, I would say, like, MFT got this. Great draft. But we just haven't seen that yet from Wen and 665. Maybe this is a chance to showcase what they've been hiding. I like the level 1 from MFT. They do go into the back red brush just to make sure that there are no shenanigans. We have seen a lot of Tryndamere's just kind of waltz into your base there. And they still could do that, as we see Driver maybe finding an angle here. Oh, does get there
think he got
undetected.
spotted. They should
I don't think he was spotted,
just
though.
go. You just collapse on him. Guys? Oh,
Does
okay.
get a love tap.
Oh.
And we do have starts heading towards the bottom side of the map, but a small favor towards J-Team as they keep their jungle path hidden.
Yeah, so it will be Kongyo starting out his own buff by himself. And in this bottom lane against Renata, your Tom Kench, you don't do anything. Usually we would say Kaisa has some issues in the lane phase. Against Jin and Tom Kench, which is clearly a weak side. Bottom lane that also you don't have a top lane to play for. But at the very least, you don't die. I guess.
Mid-jungle. Think about the bright side, Frank. Stop tunneling on all of the negatives, okay?
All right.
Like, sure, Whale's not going to die. He's opening
Wen's
4
gonna
pots.
one-shot everyone. I'm ready.
That's the spirit. There you go. You know, people always ban his Galio, but they forget about the real killer. That's his LeBlanc. So we might be seeing a level 3 gank into the mid lane. This could be absolutely massive on Uniboy. He does have that heal, though, which is... Oh, boy. You hate to see that from Zoe. That's just Zoe mechanics.
Oh, that's like that's definitely a blame Mort Dog. If this was TFT, you know, you don't get the right augment, boom, blame Mort Dog.
Kongre will start an incursion into MFT's jungler, force Lee Sin off of the objective, but he doesn't have a smite himself, so he's not going to fully commit to this one. And 665 once again searching for Uniboy. Can he land the Sonic Wave? Ooh, lands up just a bit short. That means Kongre could find himself into a very comfortable position with double scuttle, and that's not what you want to see if you're playing mid-jungle.
I feel like 665 and Wen
He's
are not
trying.
on the same page. Wen needs to go in to try and at least hit a chain.
They're investing so hard in this one. J-Team even knows he's there. They have the ward there. So they expect
like,
665 there.
They haven't taken blue buff. 665 is just camping you, Uni Boy. That's all that's happening. Oh my god.
At least they know their win conditions. I will say that about MFT. They know that they have to snowball mid lane.
He
The
just
problem
gifted
is,
a
at
3
what
buff.
cost? It's not just 3 buff. It's actually his entire bottom side quadrant.
Oh, lordy. We're already double farm with Kongre against 665. Because, this is not a, lead to laugh at, Clement. And it looks like they might set up for a bot lane play. Of course, Tom Kench does not have Devour anymore at level 3.
Let's see if the handshake will land. He does get the stun. Insta-kill onto the AD carry, and Kongre able to dodge out very easily. Renhal might have taken a step too far forward when trying to get something back. Has to expend the TP back here. And a beautiful dive by Kongre, using Viego to its utmost max. Meanwhile, 665 will get some consolation prize. He gets free farm.
He gets himself a Gromp. But the teleport coming in from the LeBlanc is a little bit curious because of the fact that Wen comes in with no mana, which on a LeBlanc, there are a couple of champions that, you know, if you come in with no mana, it's still fine, namely an Akali. But that
665
LeBlanc's got it.
is going to get tagged down. That's going to be Merc Wolves for most likely his life. Driver says thank you very much, goes back to his minions, doesn't even miss out on the wave. I feel like this game is a very good demonstration of what happens when you draft a composition that has one out, and one out only.
Yeah, and at the very least, J-Team understood that one out and played around those conditions, and they're in a very comfortable spot, which is pretty easy to say. But they are 2k gold up at 6 minutes. They have a very sizable lead in the jungle as far as EXP goes, as far as farm goes, as far as objectives go, and getting a 6.5 minute dragon also puts a real timer on the game because of the fact that you are rushing towards that dragon soul. So everything is lining up for the side of J-Team, and for MFT, I mean, your big PowerPoint is the level 6, right? With LeBlanc, Syndra with Lee Sin. And okay.
There is a good trade going down. Lil V gets knocked up by the Abyssal Dive. Can they find the kill though? Renhal running out of HP. Will still chasing. He has that last shot, but it isn't enough. The bailout comes through for Lil V. He doesn't find the takedown, and Will still drop. So Jin still secures the kill in the end. Whew. That was going very close, but the rookie duo from MFT coming up huge to kind of break the gloom on the map.
Yeah, and it comes down to the fact that Whale, he does have 665
though does have a flash. He could just get out. He is Lee Sin. The Uniboy is gonna pick up his flash. And
Zoe outplayed
mechanics. Let's go.
You just can't flash away from a Zoe. If she wants you, she gets you. And 665, he ends up burning his flash to try and get away, and still ends up going down. But yeah, I mean, that bottom lane trade really just comes down to a difference of, hey, I've got steel cap boots, you have Dirk, and Dirk has nothing on steel cap boots. At that trade in a vacuum is just very, very poor. But Lil V still has the level advantage, and I mean, for MFT, yes, you were able to get the kill, and that's going to help you out considerably, but you're still down a lot when it comes to farm in that bottom lane, and somehow you need to try and snowball that pick potential, that pick power that you have from a Jhin.
It's great stuff from Taco in the top lane. He took less than 200 damage from 3 auto attacks from Driver.
Yeah.
Driver walked up and realized, wait a minute, I'm literally just hitting
Wardens,
a rock
man.
here. Absolutely nothing getting done there. We do have the blue buff handoff here. So do expect Uniboy to start roaming across the map. He has a sizable advantage at this point. And we have the first move for Herald coming in from the bottom side as well. Kongir just going to start that one up. This is potentially a time for MFT to find some wombo combos or just get a kill. Diego's going to be a hard target, and Kongir still has his flash. They definitely could try. They have the insect online. Just trying to slowly close in onto this location, but all of these targets have immunities or escapes. They have to go in now. Here. Oh, they find it. 6 and 5 gets it. And Taco is going to try and continue to chase, but Enzo is here. And unfortunately for Taco, there's just a massive numbers advantage on the side of J-Team. Let's see if Wen is going to try and pick the Herald up. Does he realize that 665 actually won the smite fight? It doesn't look like it. They're just going to let the Herald expire.
Huh. Definitely interesting in that regard. Perhaps a little bit of miscommunication. 665 not letting him know, and then Wen just not enough awareness, but you take the small moral victory, I suppose, for the side of MFT. They do steal away and deny that Rift Herald. Yes, they cost 2 lives in exchange, but you know, when it comes to moral victories, sometimes the numbers don't matter.
That's very true. I was just a little bit disappointed that J-Team, even with the wombo combo, they didn't even burn an ult. And they managed to stay alive through all of that. Enzo just coming through on the side, cut off all the damage from Wen. So it just feels like MFT were walking into a fight that they were completely outgunned on. Now 665 has been spotted, going down into the bot lane. Could be seeing a big trade coming in here as well. Now, Lil V still needs to be careful. He lost the previous trade by just walking into Whale, and Whale's like, I actually have range and movement speed advantage over you. Like, I'll kite you out and just kill you. And Lil V, you know, could still fall victim to that. So, need to play a little bit carefully, even with the Renata.
Yeah, for the side of MFT, I mean, it's now a Hullbreaker Tryndamere, which is an interesting take. But against an armor stacking champion like Malphite, you know, crit isn't going to be as effective until you do hit more of your crit items and also probably a Last Whisper. So the Hullbreaker makes a little bit more sense if you factor those things in, and that you just get immediate power on one item. You can kind of AFK push. And Konya also gets to pull the wave towards his bottom lane. So all in all, really good play from him. Enzo might be a little bit deep though.
Double chains do land onto Enzo, but he's not going to die. He does have backup from the Viego. They're going to take this Ocean Dragon, completely uncontested, the entire bottom side. River plus the jungle is warded up. So 665, I just feel like he's been roaming across the map without anywhere to really go. That's, you know, he was killed once into the top side and killed again at the Herald and just killed again in the bottom side river. You know, just 2 solo deaths already this game if you wonder where that stat was coming from. And so far, no impact on the lanes. Just he really needs to find something on that mid lane. He tried so hard, sunk so many resources. He was actually down 3 camps just to find a Q onto Uniboy, and it didn't even matter.
Yeah, he had to give up a lot for that play. And I mean, yes, you have the Ludens now completed onto this LeBlanc, and that means it increases her burst potential, but at the same time, you are missing boots. So when it comes to roaming around the map and trying to attack these side lanes, Uniboy is still going to be more effective in that regard. Yes, he doesn't have the completed Ludens, but you have the extra range offered by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and the fact that you can collapse faster with your move speed. It's a lot of problems.
665 getting stunned up, and the Electrocute comes through. Kongre going to find an easy kill here. Just the range on that attack is absolutely massive, and there goes mid-jungle for you. Another stun onto Wen. Ignite going down. Wen will survive this one, but that mid lane tower is going to take a lot of damage. Ren Hao still has the Devour there, so they should be relatively safe. Getting pulled forward, the trade goes through, Berserk down, but Whale charges forward, and here comes the fight. Oh, Lil V still gonna find the kill. Killer Instinct right outside of tower. Really good damage calculations. Last auto attack goes in, and he finds the double. Well done by Lil V.
Lil V really showcasing his skill on the Kaisa pick. Of course, champion that he's probably pretty well versed in, playing it quite a bit a couple seasons ago, but showcasing that experience still pays off in that regard. Now 3-in-1, and then we also had the solo kill in the mid lane coming in from Uniboy into Wen, so everything going well and dandy for the side of J-Team, and I mean 665, he's trying to SOFM this, and unfortunately got a little bit reset, set behind. We'll see how the mid lane play comes in, and okay, yeah.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah.
I hope it was painless, but at the very least, it was very, very quick. So we're getting into that range where the one-shots just start happening. Kongria plus Uniboy, this combo is so damn deadly. The Spectral Maw getting a stun right off of the Sleepy Trouble Bubble and extra damage, and then, you know, you have the Paddle Star to follow up. And we're going to see that combo a lot more. And I feel like this is the point of the game where J-Team are just going to start taking over the map. Like, MFT are so far behind that I don't see anyone that can actually face tank this combo anymore. They're going to have to cede ground.
Yeah, we're also going to see Crown on the Kaisa. Lost chapter already completed. And if you think about this composition, the only way to proc Crown from reliably from long range is going to be that Jin W. So that's the only way to proc that. Otherwise, you're looking at very all-in attempts, right? The LeBlanc's going to all-in, and also that Malphite. So it makes a lot of sense here.
We actually have MFT going in for the
they're all
kill
berserk!
first, but Viego takes a very long time to fall down. In goes Little V, a lot of low health targets still going through. Wen trying to survive, but he goes down as well. 665 jumps over the wall, and J-Team says thank you towards the Herald. Taco with a nice cheeky sidestep. Love cheeky players like that. And it looks like he actually will survive. Wen, can you land the chains? Corrupting Potion ticking down, and Taco is still there. Taco might have just baited Uniboy to his death. But Wen can't find the follow-up here. Lil V in the meantime, taking down a tower plus the Herald.
Well, MFT do find an okay start to that fight, being able to burst down and Kongria on that Viego. Unfortunately, it does set up for a great ultimate coming in from Enzo on that Renata. Everyone's stuck in that choke point, just forced to auto-attack each other. And yes, while there's no big heavy hitter like an Aphelios to just murder his own team, it still buys a lot of time for the fight to reset. And J-Team able to take advantage of that mini reset and come back strong and finish off a lot of other kills.
Do you want to say, like, if there was ever a composition that basically doesn't do any damage to themselves being Berserk, it's probably this comp. You get an extra attack speed, but the Jin doesn't really use it anyway, and like everyone else's caster. Meanwhile, 665 might be having some trouble, does manage to survive right here, but Wen still takes a lot of damage. And the approach angle into this Drake is going to be so difficult. Doesn't look like MFT will try to contest this one at all. They are down 8,000 gold, so understandable in that case. But in the meantime, Taco is the man with the dancing shoes. Great outplay of Uniboy there, and he's going to find himself a free tower. In Taco we trust.
Yeah, Taco on this Malphite. It's going to be a very difficult position to carry because he has to hit pretty much everyone with this ultimate and try and get the one shot. But
do you believe
long
that's
TP
the
coming
question?
in. This is it.
This is the teleport. This is the insect we've been waiting for. 665 goes in.
The choke.
And there's the 3-man into the back line. Followed up by Ren Hao. Instantly turned into hostile takeover. Everything is stopped. and the turnaround might happen, but Lil V, they do find one carry at the very least. Gwen goes down next. Driver is still hunting down on the chase. Kongrye could find the slow. Driver gets the poultry shout, flashes forward onto Renhao, and he spits Whale in the middle of no man's land. That is such a bad place to be aborted. He just goes down, double kill over to Driver, and then J-Team walks out of the enemy base.
And that's going to be the ace. At 18 minutes, Clement. It won't be the game because they don't have the waves quite positioned, but it will mean a third dragon going into their hands. Unfortunately, Cloud Soul is their possible reward as we get to see the replay. This is what we've been waiting for. Taco gets a massive 3-man engage, but there's just no damage. Even the Berserk landing on Whale while he channels his Curtain Call means that he's forced to cancel that. And he also misses out on an opportunity to try and get a couple more kills. But Driver coming in on the flank is just unanswered. This was the problem with locking in the Malphite. While it does really well into the individual matchup, now your team has to deal with a Tryndamere, and there's just no damage on this backline to force Tryndamere to use his ultimate early.
Driver is having the time of his life, just mowing down MFT members left and right. I do want to give kudos to Wen. Oh,
Tank Malphite.
I'm saying in Taco we trust. Taco's actually the best player on MFT.
He should have gone Ludens. One shot everyone. Night Harvester.
Someone did go Ludens, and that's Lil V. I think he actually would have been much better served going for what you suggested in the crown, but
he's going for maximum power.
Oh, this is an interesting bait. They
have
find
numbers
when coming in. 665 finds the kill. Lil V on the meantime in the back line will not find the trade back onto Renhao. Uniboy now with the sleepy troll bubble. Oh, he gets the goalpost, finds the Tom Kench, and they will chase down. In the meantime, though, we do have a little scuffle in the mid lane. Taco holding his ground against Driver. So taking stock of the situation, it will be a 1-for-1 trade, and a big 3-man charge down from Taco. Taco is the best. Lil V goes down. Enzo is next on the menu. Can 665 find the next Q? Wen is coming in, but there is a stasis. No, 665 left to his own devices will fall down. Driver now chasing down for the double kill. It looks so good for a split second, but J-Team cannot be deterred.
You know, at least we got probably the best Malphite performance of this split coming out from Taco. He is trying his damnedest to save this game, but unfortunately, it feels like it's a little bit too late as we get to see the replay. Starts out with the number advantage coming in for MFT, and it's really nicely well played. Like, they get the pick onto Kongrye, but now Lil V, he joins in. The Ludens, of course, gives a little bit extra damage onto that W, but I actually don't think he's maxing W second, because it would do a lot more damage, I think, given the items he has. And then we see an attempt at a re-engage, and Taco, like, his plays have been good, but the reset comes through from Enzo, and he's able to buy extra time, and then Driver comes. This is the true raid boss.
Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate. You know, if there is one silver lining, at least they're always killing Lil V. That seems to be the one constant thing here.
At least he doesn't get to have fun.
Yeah, you know, just Lil V in particular, we don't like you, so They are winning on one position, bare minimum. And this has been actually a pretty fun game. I thought this was going to be such a rout after the disastrous jungle start. But Taco has given me faith. Like, Taco is one of those really good tacos. You know, it's the one with the crispy nachos on top. It's the one loaded with cheese. They didn't skimp on any of the ingredients. You got guacamole on the side. It's looking like a really tasty meal. And in Taco we trust. I fully expect Taco to just teleport in and steal the Baron in any moment right now. Okay, maybe that's not going to happen, but, you know, one can definitely hope. That's definitely not going to happen. Maybe 665 can do something. He's trying. I think he's dead. Oh, boy. Taco, please. You got to save this. You're the only man that can do something here.
Well, it's not looking great. Oh, he's asleep. Uh-oh.
Oh no, Taco! Why did you have to do that, Uni Boy? He was the only hope left in the universe. And now they take down Ren Hao. They finish out the rest of the squad. J-Team are not going to play with their food. They're just going to come in and smash MFT like the LSC team they are. They're going to take a dominating victory here. Almost 20k in the advantage. Playing with them in the fountain, sending the berserks all across the board and trying to get another kill onto 665. The handshake just about misses, but J-Team has made their statement game known. A very clean win on the side of J-Team, starting from I would say a super hopeful draft from MFT. Like, once you saw that draft, you were kind of like, wow, this is... Are you sure you guys are going this hard on just mid-jungle?
Yeah, they heard my pregame talk and really wanted to prove me wrong. I said that they should focus on those side lanes. Yes, the highlight from J-Team, of course, is that mid-jungle 2v2, but MFT, I mean, their strong points are those side lanes, and, well, they had a draft that exclusively catered to the mid-jungle, and unfortunately that win condition just a little bit too narrow.
And we've had a lot of these discussions over the years. Do you play towards your floor or do you play towards your ceiling? And I think unfortunately for this game, MFT tried to play towards their floor. They're thinking, you know, if when can be propped up, then we can just kind of snowball through the game. But I just feel like if you're going to do that, why give the Zoe? Honestly, it's just so unnecessary. Like, why even give him a champion that's difficult to gank, can pick up heal at level 3, and then also take your flashes? It's feels kind of unnecessary. Like, if they were gonna go for this strategy, I wouldn't ban the Diana either. I would ban the Zoe here instead of the Diana. Like, Diana doesn't do anything; actually allows you a window.
Yeah, Diana doesn't have as clear power spikes early on, so you can take advantage of the skirmish potential offered. But I mean, it is what it is, Clement.
It is what it is, and I think we saw the upsides of this team. We have to remember the top side and the bottom side were winning. We got the solo kill coming in from Whale onto Little V. Despite getting pushed in and being in an inferior matchup, they were still able to find the 2v2 kill. Taco for me was a highlight throughout the game. Really fun stuff from him. It just seems like I feel so bad about this, but it's very clear to me that MFT do have a bit of an issue in terms of propping up Wen, getting him on good champions that he can play with, making sure that he can actually stay ahead in terms of the laning phase. And it's honestly just so counterintuitive, because in League of Legends, you do not play towards your weakest lane. That typically is a road to hell. It means that your jungle, whatever resources you sink into it, are less efficient than sinking into a winning lane. So
yes,
I really just hope MFT can switch track.
Look at that damage chart. Tank Malphite. I think it speaks for itself.
He did get some good clapios in that game. MVP to Uniboy, no surprises there. Please stop giving this man Zoe. Zoe is basically his middle name, okay? He's Lee Zoe Uniboy. Please don't give him the champion, especially if you're trying to snowball mid jungle. That to me just doesn't make sense. Just ban the Zoe, give him the Diana. Who cares? 31% of the team's damage, perfect KDA. What more can I say?
Uniboy, when you give him his trademark Zoe, just steamrolls the game away. One-man wrecking crew. Even Koga didn't exactly have a earth-shattering performance on the Viego, right? He wasn't able to get a whole lot of resets in these fights because he would usually actually be the first one to go down if MFT were to get a kill. it was going to be on to Viego. So a lot of the heavy lifting was being done by Uniboy. Driver did contribute a little bit, but this Zoe is just something else.
I am gonna get so mad if anyone lets that Zoe through in playoffs. That should never happen in games versus Uniboy. We were looking for the Maple King back response from Uniboy. He was not there yet, but on Zoe, he's definitely the best mid laner in the PCS. Next game, we have a big banger coming your way. Beyond Gaming versus CFO, and the last time it was Beyond that started the decline of CTBC. So let's see if that will hold true in our final game of the day.